The initial concept for CallTrackingMetrics was to be an attribution solution for marketing departments. Our leadership at the time had the foresight to see that there was a lot of power in combining this marketing insight that we can provide with a web-based unified communications tool. Having just come out of the 2008 recession, they had seen that ad spends will come and go, but businesses will always need to communicate. We started with just using tracking phone calls, and we then added text messaging, then the ability to track web lead forms, and most recently our live chats. We're continuing to still pursue other communication channels that we can bring under the same roof. It's always been optional for our customers to leverage the CTM platform as the communication tool. And by that, I mean that most customers don't or didn't make and receive calls inside of CallTrackingMetrics, but rather they forward our tracking numbers to receiving numbers on their office phone system and come back to CallTrackingMetrics for the marketing insight that we can provide. In light of this global situation that we're dealing with, and everyone that can is being asked to work from home, you can probably imagine that we're seeing a huge influx of people, both existing customers and new prospects, coming to us for this web-based communication suite of tools that you can use pretty much anywhere where you can access Google Chrome. In an effort to provide additional resources for companies that continue to make the transition to using CTM as not just a pass-through, but their primary business communication tool from home, we thought that it would be beneficial to launch this series of webinars to talk about some of the most common questions that our sales, support, onboarding, and customer success teams are fielding for this larger audience. We hope you'll find this information beneficial, and it'll make your life easier as you continue to work remotely. Today, I'm partnered with our senior customer support engineer, Matt Horseman, and we're going to be talking about the tools that we provide to be able to measure your remote workforce. In this session, we're going to cover our team settings. These are available on our contact center plan, and they allow you to divvy up and customize behaviors for different groups of users on your account. We'll look at our live listen, coaching and barging by managers capabilities for calls that are in progress. This capability is available in some capacity across all of our plans. We'll look at the real-time agent dashboard. And this is a tool that helps monitor agent productivity and visibility of current status. This is available on our contact center plan. We'll also look at the activity reports, a different way to measure the quantity of various activities that your teams are undertaking throughout the day. And the activity reports are available across all of our plans. At the end of our session here, we'll open it up for some Q&A. After the session, we'll also post this recording with some related help articles to our COVID-19 resource page. First up, Matt's going to talk about the team settings. The team settings allow you to customize behaviors for different groups of CallTrackingMetrics agents, including things like desktop notifications, the soft phone appearance, the wrap-up behaviors, your hold and transfer options. And with that, I'm going to hand it over, Matt, to talk more about accessing calls and setting up your team members and managers.
Hey, thanks, Jason. Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining us as we kick off this remote workforce series. As Jason mentioned, our Teams feature has a lot of options available, and today we're going to focus on the accessing calls section. First, we need to understand the difference between a team manager and a team member. This is not the same as your user role. Typically, the managers are going to be monitoring the members of the team, as opposed to members who might only need access to their own recording. Now that we have a concept of members and managers, let's review the options for accessing calls. For each of these, you can select Allow Anyone, Allow No One, or Allow Managers. So for example, if we set Live Listen to Allow Managers, only managers of this team can live listen to calls of those team members. If we set Live Listen to Allow Anyone, the team members could also live listen to each other's calls. And if we set this to Allow No One, then neither the managers or members will be able to live listen to calls for any of these team members. So let's define each of these features. Live listen is the ability to listen to an active call as opposed to listening to the call after it has completed. And by the way, when we say active calls, these will show an in-progress status in the call log. Recording access is the ability to listen to the audio of a completed call. This feature also has one more option available: allow agents voicemail and allow managers. This would allow managers to listen to the audio of all calls for those members. However, the team members would not have access to audio of all of their calls, only if they've reached their personal voicemail. I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit to the coach and whisper feature. While you live listen to an active call, this would let you speak to your agents without the caller hearing you. This is great for providing real-time feedback or suggestions to that agent. Now let's circle back to barging. This is the ability to take control of the call and remove the current agent. So maybe you were live listening to a call, then started to coach that agent, but something requires you to jump in. You can use Barge to immediately take over that call instead of waiting for a transfer. The hang up calls option or feature is the ability to remotely terminate the call. And then change agent assignment is the ability to change the assigned agent for the record. Users with an agent role can only access records assigned to them. And an example of where this can be helpful is if you have a lead qualifier who transfers the call to a closer, you could choose who gets credit for the sale by changing that assignment. Now, these last two options are a little different. Allow account administrators allows users with the administrator role to have access to the audio recordings and real-time dashboard without assigning them as a manager to the team. Alternatively, restrict account administrators prevents users with the administrator role to access audio for these members. So let's see how this looks in action. From the call log, you can click the live listen icon on any active call, or you can click edit and then the live listen tab. From here, you can choose to live listen and then coach or barge as needed. Once the call is completed, that panel will change to voice analysis, where you can access the audio file and review transcriptions if you have them enabled. Another way to access live listen is from the real-time agents report with either the manager mode or live monitor views. With manager mode, we'll see a condensed report of all of the agents in the team. You can then click on an agent to get a pop out from the left side showing the metrics specific to that agent, as well as the ability to live listen to their calls and coach and barge or as needed. This manager mode allows you to live listen while keeping an eye on the rest of the team, which is a nice benefit. The live monitor view allows you to build a custom list of agents and provides live listen without the coach or barge abilities. This can be helpful if you're focused on listening to active calls for the team without being distracted by all the metrics in our other report views. This live monitor also allows you to listen to multiple agent calls at the same time. I'm going to hand it back over to Jason, who's going to highlight some other features of this report.
Thanks, Matt. So the real-time agent report is a great way to see up to the minute the status of your team, where your agents are, what kind of activities are they undertaking, and what kind of activities have they completed in the day so far. The real-time agent report offers 3 separate views and 4 separate time period selections. So we can look at the last hour, the last 3 hours, the last 8 hours, or the full 24-hour day period. We have the 3 different views here that are the live monitor, the manager mode, and the compact view. So let's take a look at some of these variations. So the manager view gives the manager the ability to, at a high level, see the total roll-up of all the activities that have occurred throughout the day. And then as we look in the smaller rectangle here, we see each of the agents that's been logged on at some point throughout the day and what status these agents are currently in. The manager can click on any of these panels, and as Matt described, this is where you would access the live listen, the coach, barge, or kill the call options, but it also gives the manager a high roll-up of the activities that that agent's taken throughout the day, as well as their most recent activities. The live monitor allows a manager to toggle between agents and hone in on a specific activity that's in progress right now for that individual agent. The compact view is another way to slice and dice this information. It gives us a more detailed summary for the individual agent along with this total roll-up, so we can see my demo user here and all of the different things that I've done throughout the day in this account. Each agent that logged in would have a similar snapshot of data stacked on top of each other in a long list for as many ever agents as you have. Some tips and tricks for navigating the real-time agent report. In the reporting mode, you have the ability to drag the mouse and zoom in on a smaller window of time. This is useful if you've got agents that are very busy doing lots of things within a narrow window of time. If I'm switching between 3 different activities within just a couple minutes, it might be hard to see that on the day view. So dragging my mouse and zooming in allows me to see down to the minute how the separation of those activities occurred. Agents using the CTM softphone can set custom statuses, such as wrap-up time, lunch break, meetings, or happy hour. We offer 4 default statuses off the shelf for all contact center customers, and those are offline, online, inbound calls, and outbound calls. These statuses can be customized under the account settings page, and each account allows for up to 8 custom statuses. Another useful tool here is having the managers filter in the reporting mode to show only specific agents, teams, or queues. So you can imagine a manager that has multiple teams or lots of agents. It can be hard to hone in on the ones that he or she is looking to report on at that given time. So this filter option really allows them to select what's relevant for the task at hand. From the default view, you can quickly access the last 7 days of real-time agent reporting and get a sense of how these activities have trended throughout the week. But with that, I'm going to kick it back over to Matt to talk about another way to slice and dice some of this data in our activity reports.
Yeah, so the activity reports are another powerful tool in monitoring agent performance. This allows you to report on various dimensions, as well as the ability to add a secondary dimension. We could choose to group that data by the hour, day, week, or month. In this report, we can also add filters to really hone in on the data you'd like to see. And finally, this report can be exported manually or set to schedule automated emails so you can easily check the report from your inbox. Let's take a look at a few examples. If you're using the reporting tags for call disposition, you could view the activity report by agent and filter for the reporting tag of qualified lead to see who's bringing in the most amount of qualified leads. Another option would be to view the report by type with a secondary dimension of status to see which communication channels are favored by your customers and if there's a need for staffing or scheduling changes. Maybe calls are where most of your customer conversations are happening, but is this causing your chats to go unanswered? This type of report can help identify that need. And then an example of a scheduled activity report would be monitoring the daily answer rates for your phone calls. This report would focus on your status and could be used to quickly see how the team handled the call volume for the previous day. Hopefully these examples will inspire you to explore the activity reports a little further. And from here, I think we're going to move into the Q&A portion of our session. We'll stand by for a couple of questions.
Someone asks, currently on the business plan, how do I get access to these contact center features? I'll take that one. Under the account settings option, there's a button to change plan. Clicking that link will bring you to a side-by-side comparison where you can see all of the plan options available and instantly change between those plans. Doing that won't disrupt any of your existing tracking numbers or any of the stuff that you have built there. It's only going to unlock those additional capabilities that are available on our contact center plan. Another one, can I filter the real-time agent report to view only certain agents? Yes, in that manager mode, you do have the ability to filter to show only certain agents, or you can look at a queue. So if you had calls coming into a sales line and calls coming into a support line, for example, it might be beneficial for the manager to look at just the sales queue or just the support queue. Matt, maybe you can fill this one. Instead of just preventing access to audio recordings or live listen, are there options to hide those fields or panels entirely?
Oh, absolutely. That could be handled with access controls. Maybe we'll have another segment on that in another session. But just go take a look at access controls. A lot of options in there to hide certain fields and features.
One more here. Can I be a member of multiple teams?
Yeah, this time you can be a member of one team, only one team. You could be a manager of multiple I don't know if that's something in the works, but that's the current state.
Awesome. In closing, as we approach a month into this new normal, we realize that just about everyone that can work remote already has some kind of solution in place to be able to do that. But if there are areas where you want to improve or other tools that you saw here that we might be able to introduce to your existing setup, we'd love to hear from you, and we're happy to help. Our support team hours are 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 7:30 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Fridays. We offer high-touch paid engagements through our professional services team. So if you wanted to delegate this or have a project manager to be able to spin this stuff up very quickly, we have you covered. We can talk about putting you under one of those plans. We're going to continue to identify the most common questions that our teams are fielding, and we're going to offer a few more of these sessions as the weeks roll on. So we look forward to seeing you on those sessions as well, to find other ways that CTM can help optimize your remote workforce. Thanks everybody for joining. We appreciate you attending here today. Stay safe out there.